Okay, so last week somebody asked me if I could tell the story of my coming to Christ, and while that's a very weird term, yeah, we're going to talk about my personal relationship with Jesus. And yeah, before we get into anything, I would love to thank the amazing Seraphim Design for their awesome new logo they got for me. If you didn't see it just then, here it is right now. And it's cool. I think it's awesome. It really shows off the story of what Rise of Jerusalem is. It gives a good impression. So I'm going to try to do this whole episode with one take as if I were just giving this as a witness, because really what this is a bit of a witness story. That being said, I just cut because I'm used to doing cuts, but here we go. Hopefully this will be the last cut right now. So one thing you really have to know to understand the story is that I was homeschooled all the way from first grade to 12th grade. It makes a lot of sense. Now I bet now you're like, oh yeah, he was homeschooled. It makes sense. But my dad was in the military, and my parents made a decision that it was easier to homeschool us than anything else, and they wanted to have a firsthand into our education and make sure we were getting the right knowledge we had to learn, and school systems, blah, blah, blah. So what had happened was I was homeschooled, and my homeschool program is really good. Seton homeschool, really rigorous, really trains you for college. But one of the things, since I'm an overly analytical human being, when I was reading my religion courses, and the religion course that Seton has when you start off like first, second grade, is what's called the Baltimore Catechism. The Baltimore Catechism is about that thick, and it's basically the catechism but shortened down for kids so you can understand it easier. It's not bad, it's the catechism. You're effectively learning the catechism. And the way that I had to learn the catechism was they had me memorize all of it, verbatim. So ask me the question, I can give you the exact answer. To this day, if somebody asks, what is a sacrament? A sacrament is an outward sign instituted by Christ to give grace. It's ingrained into my brain. And as that was my religion. I learned all this stuff, and one of the problems with that, me being so analytical, for a lot of people it's really good, and I think it's a really good thing to know exactly what the faith teaches so you can defend it properly. But one of the things that never talked about specifically, and in any way, was about how are you going to live a personal relationship with Christ. They kind of treated it like I treated it like a school subject. To me, it was just the same as learning my diagramming, learning my sentences was the same as learning why did God make me, and the same as learning the Pythagorean theorem was the same as learning the question, what are the Beatitudes? What are the corporal and spiritual works of mercy? For me, I treated it like a school subject. And that is important because it sets up the rest of the story. The rest of the story is I'm 12, 13, 14 years old. I'm somewhere in there. I think I just got off 8th grade. And yeah, I think I just got off 8th grade. I want to say 8th grade. I'm not sure. It might have been 7th. It's irrelevant. I'm there, and we're about to move from Georgia, where I used to live, up to Virginia, where I currently live. And one of the things that, growing up, I was the normal kid where I would go to Mass, I would go to confession, I'd do my normal stuff, but we weren't really big into, like, just the way that our parishes that we'd been at, they weren't big into any of the more modern things, like praise and worship, or if there was, we just never went to it. As that being said, I had never really gone to adoration in a big way before. Adoration for me was just sitting praying, but in a special area. And you probably can see where this is going, considering I'm saying, well, when I was X age, I went to a retreat for the first time. And the retreat was in the mountains of Georgia. The retreat center was called Cove Crest. It's put on by Life Teen. And it was an amazing retreat. It was one of those awesome week-long Catholic retreats where you're having fun and you're doing your Jesus music. I think Jackie Francois was at it, but it was just incredible. The ability to go to Mass every day, to go to confession, wake up and go to morning prayer while the smoke was just rising off the lake. It was a really amazing place. If you've ever been to Cove Crest, comment below. You know, Cove Crest is one of the greatest places ever. Life Team did a really good job with the camp. It's just incredible. And so I went there to Cove Crest at whatever age. I still can't remember. Why am I still bringing that up, the age thing? I went there and I had this retreat. And as you know, if you've ever been to a retreat, about, I want to say like Thursday night or Wednesday or Thursday night, you have this big adoration service. And I had never really been to adoration before, like I said. But for me, this was different because this was a full praise and worship adoration. It was really awesome. So they had like a guys talking and girls talk, and the guys did their whole like guys spiel and the girls had their whole girl spiel. But for the girls' talk, they were in like the main room where we had always done stuff, and they were like all praying. And they had like the tabernacle, and they were praying in front of the tabernacle. And the guys, we all went in, and we all like prayed over the girls, and then we switched, and they prayed over us. It was really cool. And then we all just started praying together in this little room. It wasn't even big. It was very, very small and very, very intimate. It was a very intimate setting. And this intimate setting really helped out for my experience because I'm sitting there. Remember, I've always considered God to be a subject, never really a person. And so this opportunity gave me the ability to start seeing God as a person. I just started to realize, wait a minute, that's not just an idea. That's not just a thing that you have to learn about. That's not just a subject in school. That's just not something that people devote their lives to. That is a person. And I don't know, didn't click for me. Like, I knew, like, oh, why would the apostles die if it wasn't a real person of Jesus? You know, why wouldn't they die if Jesus was all made up and everything? Jesus clearly has to be real. But for me, he wasn't relevant. I think that's the thing, is Christ was a person and God was a deity who was true, but he wasn't relevant to my life. And I think that is what really started to catch me. It clicked in my head. And if you've ever been to adoration, you know that it's one of those things where they just start playing music. And heck, this was before like Lord I Need You was the big adoration song. This was before Ocean was even written. So the song for me, one of the songs that they played that really just touched my heart and made me experience who Christ was in a really intimate way was How He Loves by Matt Maher. If you've never heard that song, it's one of my favorite worship songs of all time. The lyrics are everything I have, everything I long to be, I lay it down at your feet. And then I love the bridge. It says, "O pearl of greatest price, no act of sacrifice can match the gift of life I find within your gaze. Oh, what a sweet exchange, I die to rise again, lifting up from the grave into your hands of grace. I lay it down, I lay it down, I lay it down at your feet. I lay it down, I lay it down, I lay it down at your feet." And these words, when I was singing them, I remember sitting there just sobbing. And if you've ever been to adoration, you know that it happens. And for me, that was my first experience where I was like, oh my goodness, God is real. And I knew God was real, but I didn't know he was real. He was intimate. He cared about me. For me, it was the words of the song. I had always been like, I'll just, run my life as I want to do it. And not in any bad way, just I'll be in control of my own destiny. But then I realized at some point you have to give it up to God. You have to let God do all of the work and just let him take control. God will take control. Lay everything you are, everything that you long to be, lay it down at your feet. And it's just, when that happens, it's just so beautiful because you're able to open up and receive all that God is able to give you. And it's just, I can't even say how beautiful it is. Like the feeling of just the weight, the physical weight off of your shoulders when you realize it's not yours to carry anymore. Your life is not your own. God is holding his life in your hands. It's like that old children's song. He's got the whole world in his hands, but more than the whole world, he has your heart. He holds your heart inside of his hands, grasping it. He holds your life in his hands. Like a little mini version of you saying, hey, I've got you. Not crushing it, just holding it, saying, hey, it's okay. I got you. Don't worry, don't fret. No? It's so beautiful when Christ is able to hold you, when you're able to feel Christ, not physically, but feel him hold you emotionally and spiritually, and just hold you and say, don't worry, just wait. Just keep looking off and away up to me. And it's one of the greatest experiences that I've probably ever felt. Because I remember that day just be able to think, yeah, from then, that was probably the first changing point of my life. I feel like our lives go through like different stages, and each stage is a little bit different. And I feel like the first stage was ended with that night. When I sing those words, everything I have, everything I long to be, I lay it down at your feet. So yeah, that's my witness story. Thank you so much, Hannah Gonville. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for asking about my story of really just my witness story. It was really, really, I don't want to say important for me to say this. It's just that I want to share it, and you gave me an opportunity to do so. because when we're on YouTube, a lot of times, a lot of Catholic YouTubers are just like, hey, here's the stuff. But I've been wanting to say this for a while, my personal story of that first moment. And granted, though, like, your life is going to change a lot more than just the one moment. Like, there are so many stories I can tell you about how God has affected me, not just on retreats, but, like, in my day-to-day life, where he's just been like, "Whap, what you doing, son?" Or just whispered and been like, "Dude, it's easy, come on." But I gave the first one, the Coming to Christ story, and yeah, there we go. That's my story. So thank you again for giving me this opportunity. Also, here's a little bit of Easter egg for you. If you want to go back through Life Teen's old Edge videos, in one of them, you can see me crying in adoration. If you can find that, I will shout you out. Also, you have way too much time on your hands to go through all of the Edge videos. Get a hobby, start a YouTube channel, subscribe to Catholic T-Shirt Club, which my awesome review of their Mother Teresa of Calcutta box will be coming out this Friday, so tune in for that. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, blah, 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 blah. You know the drill. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, I would highly recommend subscribing. It's fun. I'm a decent human being, so yeah, I love Jesus. Yes, I do. I love Jesus. How about you? I'm a terrible human being. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as it was in the beginning, is now, or shall be, Christ has been lived.